The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I hope you had a great Christmas. This is, of course, our New Year's show. And again, my guest, once again, the Governor of Guam, Eddie Baza Calvo.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much
for inviting me. Happy New Year, Governor.
Again.
How you doing?
Well, a lot of Christmas meals, a lot of Christmas parties. So the shirt is getting a little snug on me right now.
A little snug, right? Yeah, well, we're going to have to hit the gym here, you know, in a couple of weeks. You know, we have to see your New Year's resolution. You got to reveal that to the people of Guam, your New Year's resolution. But again, welcome back, and hope you and your family had a great Christmas. New Year 2016, New Year's Eve tomorrow. Next day, Christmas 2016. What does 2016 look like for the people of Guam, Governor?
First of all, it's a festive time for me as well. I have a couple of kids that are in college out in the States. They both come back for the holidays, so we have our family here complete for the year. And then, of course, they'll be heading back for school in a few days. So I've had an opportunity to spend time with family and friends and just enjoy the Christmas holidays. But it's been an exciting year, but it's an even more exciting year ahead. Again, we have the Farmers Co-op that's recently will have their ribbon cutting. We also have so many new capital projects that, again, ribbon cuttings will be shortly. The museum will be opening soon.
FestPac?
Oh, and that, of course, that will be lead to FestPac. We've got this beautiful library that is also set for reopening in Hagåtña. And they've expanded the wing. It's going to have a children's wing, but with it also a little cafe for parents and caregivers so that they can have a cup of coffee, go on the Wi-Fi while their kids are at the library. We have the Fisherman's Ramp that's ongoing. We have the Great Seal Park. The legislative building's going up. We're working on the Fishermen's Cooperative. You're seeing the construction right now for FestPac, the Chamorro Village there that's expanding. Once those Laddystone huts are completed, and once FestPac is finished, that will be an expanded Chamorro Village that will be used again for another, maybe potentially another farmers co-op annex. So there's just so much activity occurring. I'm excited.
Now, Governor, when we look at that, I mean, that's fantastic. That's great. I mean, of course, the administration building, they'll be going up. It's down. It's nice, but it's going up. So you're going to have a lot of, again, the redevelopment of Hagåtña. Are there any plans? I've heard about plans. I talked to the police chief a few weeks ago. Again, in moving the police headquarters and that prison. Holding detention center, basically, other barbed wires. I mean, it doesn't mesh with the look of what you envision Hagåtña to look like.
Now, right now, Hagåtña Hagåtña redevelopment is moving forward on the master plan, and I've already advised them what I believe, recommendations, how changes should be made. As we move forward to look for the best uses for properties. I do believe that there has to be a presence of the police in Hagåtña, especially as we look towards building a Capitol building with a Department of Administration, a Treasury, and Revenue Tax building in that area. But that being said, I don't believe that a lockup is the ideal location for that area as well. So this is where I'm working with the police department, looking at the master plan, looking what their ideas are, not only for Hagåtña, but using the properties that we have available island-wide on the best place for police headquarters, plus a lockup. I'm exploring the maybe potential working with the courts, because originally it was the court's responsibility for a lockup. They've got a lot of assets and space also, and they're looking towards capital improvement projects as well. So maybe that we can kill two birds with one stone, or catch two birds with one stone in this. So we are looking at that. We're talking about not only Hagåtña, but island-wide. We are currently moving forward on a Garvey bond for highway construction. So we anticipate with Garvey bond financing, with some of the Department of Defense monies allocated for new roads and repairing repairing old roads, a combined total of about $125 million in road construction projects that are coming up as well. So it's some exciting times.
When do we envision that the bridge down in Hagåtña by the Bank of Guam to be finished?
It's already past schedule, and I obviously This is where I've been talking to folks at DPW, working with the contractor. They're 99% complete. So it's just a matter now of completing the checklist so that we can get that bridge opened and it alleviate a lot of the pressures and traffic in Agатnya. So that's another project that you're not talking months, you're talking weeks for completion.
Now, Governor, one of the other things too is look in 2016, right? I mean, there's something that happened. It's not under your purview, but at some point you may have to step in. In regards to that, we have power challenges now. We have the explosions of I guess a couple of the generating capacities here in Guam. Now, years ago, we served in the legislature, of course, and one of the concerns with the military at the time is I guess power. At the time, they didn't have the power of not having enough power generation, but they were concerned at the time with again dirty power, basically dirty power. But we have a situation here now where the federal government has to fulfill again its mandate to come up to I think 20% of their power has to be generated by other than fossil fuel, right?
For Defense Department.
For Defense Department,
it's much more bold. For Guam, it's a 2020 plan. Where we're looking at 20% renewables by 2020. The Defense Department actually is 50%.
50%.
So with that high ceiling amount, again, this is President Obama's one of his key strategic goals in regards to climate change and how to deal with it. This is something where we can work together with the military and also, and I call it making lemonade out of lemon because of the situation right now that has been a near crisis point in terms of some of our baseload units going down where we don't have that spinning reserve. It's an opportunity to basically, throw all the cards on the table, think outside the box, and look at other opportunities and options for power generation and distribution. And so this is where we can look at renewables. We can also look at giving certain autonomies. Right now we're constricted by law. So for major types of developments, any type of, whether it's one building or a combination of buildings or facilities that are having significant power usage, for them to think outside the box and be creative on what's the best way to power their facilities, and yet that it would be environmentally sound and move forward in our plans for using more renewables, and then at the same time cost efficient.
I mean, I know when I was in the legislature, I chaired one term the committee had oversight of power generation, GPA. One of the things, and maybe back there it wasn't as relevant as it is right now, but one of the things that hindered, as you're moving now, the administration, the Obama administration, really moving forward in renewables. So you said 50% for the Department of Defense side. 2020 plan for the government Guam side, but when you look at renewables, one of the stumbling blocks, if I'm not mistaken, if it's still in place, but that the law did not allow for new technology to happen, and I'm going, I think it's something that's outdated, don't you?
I've always found that provision of the law, interesting. I'm not too sure how it got in there, but I would assume, especially with the technologies, which is basically almost on a weekly basis, there's some new technology that's coming up, and not only in power generation, but also power storage.
Power storage,
And this is where we've got to, we can't restrict ourselves. We've got to look at what's the best short-term, but also long-term best interest for the ratepayers in Guam, and also taking into consideration best interest is not just rates, but it is our environment as well.
And one of the things that concerns me, again, is this, and that's why I started this with the military's concerns. I said, they're not power generators. They didn't want to get into the business, but because they have a mission, if they have to, they will.
Yes. And I see the board and the management of GPA, I see them as, especially the situation that we're in right now, the circumstances where we don't have a 30% spinning reserve. It's an opportunity, I think, and I think they have that mindset and that spirit, to be open
Sure,
to looking at things, and again, not just going with the status quo, but also maybe rethinking some of the current statutes that have been very restrictive. And I look forward to working with them on that.
Got to pay some bills.